Hello and welcome back to me and my shadow. How's everybody doing today? That's right, sporting the new HJC helmet. Guys, it is so freaking nice out. I had to get out and get a ride. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is freaking 80 degrees out. 80. But I had a subscriber ask me a really good question, and first of all, let me say, if I don't really know the answer, or if I don't think I've answered your question good enough in the comments, I'm gonna ask other people to help me. Because guys, I never claimed to be any kind of an expert. As you know, I've mentioned that like 9,000 times, right? But again, the most important thing, especially when you have not so much technical questions, but, well, you'll see what I'm getting at. So this subscriber to the channel, or watcher of my channel, Chaos Mom, shouting you out there, thank you very much for watching. She's going to be a first-time motorcycle buyer, and she's super hyped, but she's also being very intelligent about her purchase and asking some really good questions. And one of them was, you know, the mileage on the bike. So I wanted to kind of dig into that a little bit. So you're out there, you're buying your first motorcycle, right? And you're super excited. Ooh, look how bright and shiny it is. Look how fast it is. And boy, it sounds really like a bad machine. But, and you know, what do you look for when you're buying and you don't really know 100%? My mirrors, I gotta tighten these down. You don't really know 100% of exactly what you're doing. My first suggestion is, especially if you're gonna buy used and you're gonna be buying from a private owner, okay? That's kind of the scenario I'm setting up. Make sure that you bring someone along with you that has a little bit of mechanical knowledge that you trust, if you have none. Now, if you have tons of mechanical knowledge, and obviously this isn't a factor, and if you know what you're looking for and you're experienced on bikes, then, you know, it's probably not a factor. But if you don't know and you don't want to get rubbed off, then take somebody with you that actually can answer some questions and look at some things on the bike that you may not be aware of. I mean, I could sit here and tell you some of the basics all day long, like, you know, make sure that, you know, you're not leaking anything underneath. Make sure you do take it for a test drive. Make sure that you don't have huge amounts of rust on it. Gosh, you know, just some of the obvious things that you can look for. But if you take somebody along with you that really knows what they're doing, they may be able to point out some things that you might not see and miss very easily. So that would be my first suggestion. And second of all, then the other suggestion is, if you really want to buy the bike and you're not really 100% sure, then take it to a mechanic. Give the guy a deposit. Say, hey, I'm going to write you a deal on a deposit here. Work it out somewhere to where you can get it to a mechanic and have the mechanic kind of do a quick once over on it. Now, if you're going to buy a Japanese bike, a Honda Shadow, which I would recommend, of course, or let's say you're looking at buying a Suzuki or a, I don't know, Kawasaki, something along those lines, you know that you're buying that Japanese reliability, so your chances are going to be a little bit better as far as, depending on how the bike's been treated, the age of the bike and things like that. So those would be my first. I mean, even when I go buy my touring bike, which I'm working on, I'm going to take somebody with me that knows what the heck they're doing and take a really good look at it. Even though I pretty much know what I'm looking at, I still want to take somebody with me that can kind of be a second set of eyes for me, if you know what I mean. And, you know, honestly, if the person selling the bike doesn't want to give you the chance to maybe let you take it to a mechanic and have it looked over, then you know what, maybe it's time to walk away. I'm not saying that they're being dishonest, but maybe they are hiding something that you really shouldn't get into anyway. So those are just some thoughts on buying new. And obviously, another thing, guys, that I want to tell you about, let's say you have $5,000, right? You got $5,000 and you're like, I want to go buy a bike. And you're a first-time rider. Don't spend $5,000 on the bike. Because just as important as buying the bicycle, see what that guy riding his bike did? Messed me up. He messed me up. Damn bicycle rider. I'll beat you. Anyway, sorry, way distracted there. I lost my complete train of thought. Train has derailed. But if you're thinking about buying a bike, and you have $5,000, let's say you've saved up $5,000, your hard-earned money, you know what, you're buying a bike and you want one for $5,000, right? I get that. Most people get that. But you've got to buy gear. Gear purchase is just as important, if not more important, than buying the bike. So spend $3,500 on the bike and use the rest on gear. Get good gear. Get a good helmet. Get good gloves. Get a good jacket. Get good riding boots. What good is it going to do you to get a bike, ride out with that bike, and crash and really seriously injure yourself, if not die? It's not going to do you any good at all. So don't do that. Don't go spending your full $5,000 that you have saved up for the bike on the bike. Get the gear. It's super important. I cannot tell you how important it is. Because the proper riding gear is going to allow for you to have a better riding experience, and that better riding experience is going to equate in just an overall length of the time that you're going to ride and things like that. Now let's talk about one other good question that was brought up, and that is mileage. What is a good mileage on a bike? Obviously, you want to go as low mile as possible. But if you're looking at used bikes, you're probably noticing that the older the bike is, the more mileage you're going to come up against. And if you're looking at a Honda Shadow 750, it's not really that big of a factor. Matter of fact, as one of my other subscribers commented and said very, very apropos, that it's not usually a huge factor on most Japanese bikes as long as they have been well maintained. And then again, that ties into bringing somebody along, if you don't know what you're talking about, that knows what they're talking about, to make sure the bike has been well maintained. Woo! Wow, I got a rattle somewhere. Anyway, so how do you know? Well, if it's got anything that's got, I would say anything from 3,000 to 6,000 miles on it, depending on the year of the bike and stuff like that, you're probably going to be maintenance free, okay? And even with upkeep, you're pretty much going to be maintenance free on motorcycles, as long as you're buying a Honda, or if you're buying a Kawasaki, something Japanese. Your chances of getting something that's really going to be, I don't know, I guess a lemon, are going to be less and less. But it all boils down to the mileage game. If let's say you find a bike that's got 30 to 60,000 miles on it, but it's a newer bike, you know, that still should not frighten you away. If a bike, I can just use Honda Shadow as an example. A Honda Shadow 750, be it an Ace, an Arrow, even if they have 60,000 miles on them, if they've been well maintained, and most of them have been, because you should love your Shadow, like, well, it's yours. If they've been well maintained like that, you've got another 100,000 miles to go on it. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm really not. It's different. If you're used to buying a car, buying a motorcycle, going to be different. It's going to be something that, but, so there's my main points, guys, to kind of recap. I don't want to sit here and ramble on forever, but just to recap for you guys, I would recommend the Honda Shadow 750, or especially if it's your first bike, get something that's going to be within what you can handle. A 750, maybe a Rebel 500, anything. Now, I have heard people that get larger bikes as their first bike, and as long as you're careful and mature about how you handle it, and make sure you take your MSF course and understand the basics and the operations of the vehicle, you're probably going to be all right. But just for forgivability and things I've talked about on other videos on the motorcycle, a Honda Shadow 750 or something that is going to have enough power to get you where you need to go. It's going to let you have fun riding two up, going out and around the town, just having a blast. I'd say the 750 is going to be it for you to start with. You can always move up later into something bigger if you want, or buy a second bike. But take somebody with you as well. If you've never purchased a motorcycle before and you don't really know exactly what you're talking about and what you're looking for, take somebody with you, or get a mechanic to take a look at the bike, especially if you are purchasing from a private owner. Now, a caveat to that I didn't think of is if you're buying a used bike from a dealership, you pretty much got that covered. You buy a new bike from a dealership and all of a sudden you realize that you can't get the bike into third gear. There's some kind of a problem with it. The dealership 9 times out of 10 is going to take care of you, okay? But private owner, oh, another thing too is if the private owner has records, right? If they've got, like, okay, I did the oil change, this is what I did, and you'll be able to tell the difference between a well-maintained bike and a bike that's just been kind of sitting out in the rain that somebody's selling. They're overpricing it because of the name of the bike and because of the fact that it may have, you know, has a reputation like the Honda of reliability. They may let it sit out in the rain. They may not take care of it, never change the oil, never do anything. But they're going, hey, you know, I can put this on Facebook and sell this for $5,000 because it's a Honda and everybody knows how reliable they are, even though the guy hasn't done nothing to the bike to help maintain it. Those are all factors. But that's a great question, Cass Mom. I really, really appreciate questions like that, because it makes me think. Not only does it give me good content, but it also makes me think of things that I might have missed in previous videos, or just important information to get out to new riders, new buyers. If it seems like when you ride it, it sounds funny or there's something weird going on with it, bring somebody with you that can help you with that. Kind of give you a good once-over on the bike. And as far as mileage is really, on these bikes, as long as they're well-maintained, is not as big of an issue as you would think. Obviously, you want to get the best price possible with the lowest miles possible. I mean, that's just a given. But if you're looking to get something, and let's just say that color of that bike is just gorgeous, and you love the year, and you love the way that it looks, and everything's just awesome on it, and you absolutely love it, but it's got 60,000 miles on it, man. Go ahead and buy it. As long as it's been well maintained, you probably got another 100,000 to go on it. Nobody wants to get ripped off. Everybody works hard for their money. Everybody wants the best return value possible on money. And you don't want to go out and spend the money on something. Also, guys, make sure they have a title. Make sure they got the paperwork. Don't go try to buy something that has no title. Could be stolen. I mean, that's obviously 101 common sense stuff. But just don't do it, man. I don't care how pretty the bike is. Don't get yourself into a situation where you purchase a bike that's been stolen. There's too many bikes out there that have been stolen recently to, you know. Anyway. That's all I got for today. I'm going to quit gabbing. I hope this helps. I hope this helps answer your questions. And I hope it helps you decide on getting the bike that you want. it is just too beautiful to go home. I'm just going to stop rambling here and cut this off so I can go do some other riding. You guys all take care. Have a wonderful day. Leave a comment if I missed anything. I'm sure I have. But leave a comment in the comment section below. Please, guys, I'm asking you. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 500. Love to have more subscribers. Love to add to the community, add to the family. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate this video, give it a thumbs down. I don't really care. Just interact with the video. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching me in my shadow, and we will see you again real soon. Everybody take care.